Hello again. How's your week been? I'm really grateful and glad for this opportunity to be with you and with your friends and family who you shared these videos with. How do you listen? Yes. How do you listen? I'm sure you know that there is a right way and a wrong way to listen. And so we'll be talking about that a bit more in the Quip Corner today. But just before we go to the Quip Corner, what word is right when pronounced wrong, but wrong when pronounced right? See you in a bit. Welcome to the Quip Corner. The answer is wrong, right? Did you hear my question? Did you listen to it? Remember we said there's a right and a wrong way to listen. A lot has been said about listening and active listening too. Active listening is a soft skill that is required for relationships, every type of relationship. And as our parents are quick to remind us, charity begins at home. So we need to know how to practice active listening at home in order to utilize it as a skill effectively at work. I started off asking, how do you listen? And we had the obvious answer, with your ears. And it has been said that we have 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason. God expects us to use them in that ratio. Sometimes you're having conversations with your spouse, children, friends, and it's almost like you're waiting for them to finish so you can say something. There's no way you'll be really listening because you're thinking about, what do I want to say? Hurry up, so I can say something. You cannot use your ears and mouth at the same time effectively. One needs to pause for the other, which is why, like I said in the quip, to listen properly, you need to learn to be silent. It's interesting that we use the same letters to spell both words. For me, it's funny because my husband is talking, or a friend is talking, and all that is going in my mind is, yes, but this is what I want to say. This is what I want to say. This is what I want to say. And I just realized that I totally missed what the individual was saying. Have you watched interviews or television shows, where, or in fact, the place this happens a lot is at meetings and maybe even conferences, where the speaker says, a couple things and somebody raises their hand. I have a question. And then ask the question. And you almost see a lot of people, or even the speaker themselves, look at that individual like, did you hear what I just said? And some people actually call it out and say, I already answered your question. Were you not listening? Our lips need to be sealed if we want our ears to hear properly. A lot of people use the word listening and hearing interchangeably, but they're very different. You can hear something without listening. Listening takes hearing to the next level. Listening is about paying attention. The second part of that is listening with our hearts, not just with our heads. That's where emotional intelligence comes in. There's a really old saying that goes, silence is golden, speech is silver. And from my research, yes, I like to look into, the origin of some quips or quotes. And it dates back to ancient Egypt. And then in 1831, a poet translated it into English and said it means saying nothing is better than speaking. or is more meaningful than speaking. Silence is golden, speech is silver. Gold is worth more than silver. Gold is more precious than silver. So silence is more precious than speaking. Let that sink in. Silence is indeed golden. For me, I even want to take it a step further to say listening silently is platinum. Listening silently, listening with your heart, not just your head, is platinum. Active listening requires focus. Focusing on the person and what they are saying. It could be your spouse you're talking about. It could be a friend. It could be your children. It could be your brother, your sister, anybody, a colleague, your manager. It's about focusing, not just hearing, but truly listening, making sense of what it is they are saying. You need to truly be silent. It takes practice. It does take practice. It's not that you're multitasking. It's not like you're reading a book and you're saying, oh, yes, I'm listening to you. Yes, I'm listening to you. You know, you're not doing the dishes. You're focusing. You're focusing. And it's a sign of respect as well. Well, funny story. As my husband has found out, sometimes, talking to me, when I'm all cuddled up in bed, I may be silent, but not because I'm listening silently. I may be silent because I've slept off. And yes, his voice really puts me to sleep. It is a compliment. So now we've found other ways around things like that so that I don't, in the guise of being silent and listening, I actually am silent and fast asleep. When we listen to people silently, we need to put our heart in gear. When we do, our responses are more heartfelt. And yes, the pun is totally intended. Too many times, the world is not as kind as it could be. Listening silently with your head sometimes, but with your heart all the time is what will make the world a kinder place. Thanks again for joining me in the Quip Corner. Hopefully, you did not just hear what I said, you actually listened. It takes practice, I have found, because it's almost like everybody is in a hurry to talk and have their voices heard. Practice listening silently and with your heart. You'll be glad each time you do. Until next week, take care and keep extending heartfelt listening to those around you.